Welcome back to Oblu Sale. In this episode, we explore the value of formal education in preparing future sales leaders. Sales is often seen as something you learn on a job, but how much difference does structured education really make? To help answer that, Selma from CBS is joined by Beatrice, a current sales management student, and Markus, one of our alumni. Together, we will reflect on their journey and what role sales education plays in shaping modern sales careers. So let me start with you, Marcus. You're a SAM alumnus. Can you briefly introduce yourself and share one memory from the program that really stuck with you?
100%. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for having me here. I'm Marcus. Currently, I'm working as a shop manager in Tax Free Copenhagen, which is a subsidiary of Gebrüder Heinemann. This is a German company that is doing business in the industry, which is called travel retail. So we're doing every kind of shops around either airports. We have ferries, we have shops on cruise liners, or at borders. I am, as I said, shop manager, so I'm responsible for 25 people working in the fashion and accessories department. That also includes or has included 2 different project stores. Before that, I was in category management in the same company for 2 years as a working student during my period as a student in sales management. And before that, I was in Hamburg in the headquarters of that company in loyalty marketing. Yes, so one memory or something that stuck to me from sales management was certainly the people I had the opportunity to get in touch with, and I still have a lot of contact to former student colleagues. They were, during that period, really inspiring to me, since you have a bunch of people that are having the same passion, which is sales, going and finding that program, and you realize how diverse the world of sales in the end is by meeting those people, and by the way, finding also a bunch of great new friends.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Beatrice, also welcome here. You're still in the program. So, what expectations did you have going in, and what has surprised you thus far?
So thank you, Professor Selma, for having me here as well. So yeah, when I was looking into a master's program, I wanted something that was a bit more dynamic and broad than the traditional international business or marketing masters. And I found this program, which not a lot of universities have it, sales management. And I wanted to go into the program because I wanted to learn about sales, a bit about marketing. But what I found out by already having had my first year in the program, it was that it's much more broad than that. So you have different types of courses, from performance management to more analytical, to profitability, to professional selling, platforms, innovation. You cover different type of aspects, which is very nice because you do have a set of tools that you gain from the program and frameworks, but you also have a more practical approach to be able to implement it. And I guess another great thing about it is that I work as a student assistant, and I can really feel that I can translate some of the learnings into my actual job, which is, I think, in the end, like a very nice thing about the program as well.
Okay, great to hear. Right. So, let me go to you, Selma. Can you, from your academic perspective, explain why formal sales education is important, and what role do you personally play in shaping that?
Our colleague Willy Belander really helped us there because he did a huge longitudinal study, and in that study he really proved that there is a huge difference between salespeople with previous experience and those who are having formal sales education. So what he did, he compared their performance. And then he realized, and he demonstrated empirically, that on the very beginning, those who are more experienced will overperform those who are less experienced but with formal sales education. However, over time, their performance will more or less remain the same. But when he focused only on those who are having formal sales education, he is demonstrating that they are overperforming those experienced one quarter by quarter. So meaning that in the long run, sales education really pays off for companies and for our students who are studying and who are going to be sales professionals in their future careers. So that's one part of the answer on your question. And then another part is really that in this program we try to bring professionals as much as possible. We are very much aware that it's not possible for us to teach sales without sales experience. And I was being in sales from when I was 16 years old, but that's not enough. Although I try to keep my foot in business as much as possible, again, it's not enough. So what we are doing, we are bringing companies as much as possible to do guest lectures, to do projects with our students, to facilitate workshops and so on. And I would like to give you a few examples. So for example, Salesforce, for last 3 years, every year they bring more than 10 facilitators who are helping our students with the workshops which are being done in a Salesforce cloud to understand the environment and to do some first steps in a cloud. Radiant, on the other hand, is here for many, many years. So we've been collaborating on different projects, starting from guest lectures, company visits, first positions for many of our students are positions in Radiant. Another company, Arpedia, is again a company which is often employing our students, but also we collaborated greatly in terms of writing master theses in collaboration, doing guest lectures, and so on. So what we really try to do in a program is to bring this practical knowledge, but then again to provide students with frameworks, tools, and knowledge, skills, abilities needed to analyze environment, which is going to be very dynamic in their future careers.
Yeah, thank you very much. Markus, can you explain a little bit about how the program prepared you for your first job after the program?
Yes. So my first job, as I said, being a shop manager in duty-free environment, or like in this dynamic airport environment, what I've gotten there, since it can be pretty stressful, is that it's very, very important, or it comes in handy to have a good knowledge or academic background in sales. You know certainly a lot about frameworks. You know a lot of methods that you can just apply whenever you have a real stressful situation, that you can rely on, that there's something that you have where you can hold on, right? And I think that is to me what helped me in those specific, since in sales, in the real world in sales, you have not a business case as you have in school, that it's in a perfect environment or something, but every situation is different, and every kind of case or any deal closure you have is different. So it's great to have something that you can rely on when you are in those kind of very stressful situations.
Can you give an example of that? So where you relied on a certain framework or?
So basically what I can say is, as a shop manager, when I take a decision in the end, for example, around how we are taking communication as a tool, or how we are taking a new method in replenishment. Mm-hmm. I don't have necessarily a specific framework that I had in one single lecture on top of my mind, but what it helps you with, knowing around those frameworks or worked with those, is that you can either develop your own one, like that you have a method on your own that you're using and that you're testing and that you're critically analyzing and questioning, or that you have something that you can compare different scenarios with, right? Mm-hmm. And that's one way of what I chose, or what I'm doing then at work, to see how I can enhance the performance there.
Yeah, very interesting. So it's more about the skills and the competencies and able to deal with the different situations at hand than necessarily having like tools at hand that help you in the job.
Definitely. That's due, as I said, we have an average 35,000 potential customers running through our store each and every day. You can do your mind math yourself, what that means in 365 days, since we have every day in the year open.
Yeah.
So there are a bunch of different scenarios and cases that are coming along the corner, where a standard framework or some frameworks are not matching on. So it's also kind of, you have something in your repertoire that helps you within your freestyle then, right?
Very nice, very interesting. And is there something then that the program is not really covering, so that you really had to learn on the job?
Yes, I would say that's mostly the human component, right? So a huge part of what I'm doing is managing certainly those 25 people, and everywhere in sales, and that is also what I heard, at least from my friends who are working, for example, as account executive. Every time two individuals are interacting with another, that's a highly individual situation also. And that you only learn while practicing. That's the same as studying for any exam. Like, the more often you practice certain situations, the more confident you get in those. And that's not only on our shop floor or within some sales pitches. That's the same for one-to-ones with employees, the same with performance meetings. You get the feeling of what is necessary or what questions shall be asked, for example, more and more while training this in a real world scenario.
Yeah, very interesting. So let me go to you, Beatrice. So you are now a second-year student on the sales management program, and you have covered the first year. But do you feel that there is something that you have gained from this first year already that other students or people that you know don't have gained or did not pick up?
I think, touching upon what both Professor Selma said and also Marcus, the fact that you also learn a lot of things about sales and like the real work scenario by doing it and trying it. But once you have a more like academical foundation with um, some studies that like have researched multiple companies and that can give you what the best practice would look like, and also like some frameworks to draw upon, I think it's much more valuable, and you have a lot more insights on how to approach a specific problem, although they might not be like the business case that we looked in class. It does give you some frameworks and some tools to strategically and critically assess that. And I think, drawing from my experience in my job, I've definitely gained a lot of valuable like tools to better perform at my job, so to say, both with like the customer journey. Okay, which are the touch points? How can we better improve that? What are the frameworks that could be used for that? Or even like how to classify a lead, which, I don't know, sometimes we want to pursue them all, but it's just not feasible and it's not smart to do so. So by drawing upon like, okay, which type of selling should I use? Like, is it consultative or relationship, and so on? Things that I personally haven't thought about before. Actually, learning them in class really help you look at it in a different way. And I think also the fact that the program, as I said, covers a lot of different areas, from performance management, which I haven't used really yet, through more like analytical and more even like profitability analysis. Like, how do you actually quantify this the impact of what this marketing campaign has had? I think it's quite interesting, because you get this holistic and broad view of different tasks at a job, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. And so in that sense, it's providing you with a language, right? So you can communicate with people in the field. It provides you with structures, frameworks, things to position whatever you observe and see and what you encounter. but also it provides you with the skills to deal with that in many different ways, right? Also, what was mentioned by you, Markus. So let me then go to you, Selma. So you have stayed connected with alumni over the years. I know that, right? You're good in networking and connecting with them. Um, what stands out from your perspective with regards to their careers, and are there any surprises?
I would say that at the level of the program, we all do our best to stay connected with our alumni, because at the end of the day, that's part of our job. And what I really appreciate are two things. The first one is diversity of roles. And the second one is definitely community that we succeed in creating. So let me go back to maybe just elaborate the diversity of roles. Our graduates are taking roles in marketing, in sales, in finances. Also, some of them are working in different startups. Some of them are starting their own startups. Some of them are working in IT and so on, which is very good proof that sales is really everywhere. And I'm so proud when I see my LinkedIn wall in June, July, when our students are graduating. And then after they do their oral exam, and when they defend their master thesis, it's really visible how they are announcing their promotion on a job where they already been. Well, within the companies where they already been. So what's happening in the background is that most of our students are having student jobs where they're working in certain companies. And then after their graduation, they are taking over more senior roles in those companies, which is kind of a good signal that we are doing a decent job together with companies and business communities, because I would say that we are educating future professionals together, because if they have a student job, then we kind of add on that with tools and frameworks and theories and so on. That's one part of the answer. And then another part of the answer is a community that I would love to say succeed in creating, or at least we are trying to create. So just recently I posted on LinkedIn and I asked network of our former students to invest or to donate 1 hour of their time to do interviews with our present cohort of SAM students. And I was so happy to see that we had 40 interviews that were done. So meaning that 40 people donated 1 hour of their time to do free career counseling with our present students. So if you just think about the market value of these hours, which are invested into free career counseling, it's amazing. Do I have to tell you that some interviews were done on Saturdays and Sundays from different parts of the world, not only from Denmark, which is kind of proof that we do have community. And then at the same time, we are not naive, so we do not have wishful thinking that once when our students are graduating, all their future business career is going to be bright and happy and shiny and so on. We are very much aware that sales is a tough profession and it's a tough job. It's very competitive, not always easy, but I think that we do little steps by creating community where students are coming back, talk to our our former students are coming back to talk with our present students, doing guest lectures, bringing case studies, offering some employment opportunities for present students. And I think that all these signals are signaling that decision that CBS has sales management program was a very good decision for first Danish business community, but then also international business community.
Yeah, because we are running this program since 2018, right? So we have more than 400 alumni already. So that's an increasing group of people who are very engaged, as I understand from you. So very nice to hear that. So let's have some reflections to round off this podcast. So Beatrice, could you give one piece of advice to new students starting in a sales management program? And yeah, what would that be?
I would say to try to take as much advantage from the guest lectures and also from lectures from the different courses that we had as they could. because in the end, I think it's very inspiring to talk with people that are actually now graduated from the program, and also others that didn't, but that have work experience, and they can tell us more a bit about what's actually being like being on the job for so many years, and what their learnings were, and what they wish they have done differently. So to really get this networking, as Professor Selma said, but it's also to get all of these insights from them. And it's also, I think it's very nice that all of the courses have a very practical approach towards it as well. So try to take as much advantage of it as well, and to stay curious, I would say, because you can get a lot from it. From both the practical terms, but also from this network and community of people that are there to help us, and to inspire us, and to be more successful at it.
I think that's great advice. So thanks a lot. So Markus, what would you change? Because no program is perfect, right? So what would you change?
List is long. No, just kidding. So, well, when I started in 22, and that is now 3 years ago, actually. Time's flying. 2 months afterwards, ChatGPT and AI popped out of nowhere, and suddenly, a couple of months later, that was and not only in everybody's mouth, but everybody was using it. And 3 years later now, when I look into not only my company, but also different other companies, and that is the topic that is relevant also for sales. And you can look at most surveys that are coming from top strategy consultancies. For me, I'm working in retail. That is one of the estimated most relevant industries where AI can create the most value. So what I would do with this kind of knowledge now would be a focus on that topic, and to also just get people into the how can you say into the flow of getting critically know-how and know-how around AI, and not necessarily like in an operational way, but that they just get in touch with that, because that is gonna be most likely the topic that is interesting in every business for the next couple of years.
Yeah, well, I completely agree that AI is very impactful. It's pretty overwhelming, I would say, in many instances. And we do know indeed from these reports from, for instance, Gartner and other consulting agencies, that areas like marketing and sales are those areas that are most impacted by AI, right? Because there's so much data that is collected about customers or customer behavior, but also internally, that AI can really make a difference, a huge difference there.
And we are I mean, the opportunities are huge because we are still at the beginning, right? So that's basically perfect. It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to you, Selma, as a final reflection. How are you dealing with these challenges of AI completely disrupting the landscape, but also keeping up with all these changes in formal education?
Yeah, it disrupted education as well. That means in practical terms that, every year I develop a new course description, and then I think like, that's it, that's good. Then next year I change it completely because I realize that some of the things are just outdated and I have to make some adjustments. But now, in more general terms, CBS already recognized importance of AI in business, and AI is becoming our main strategic priority, or at least one of strategic priorities. So we are developing programs which are going to be based on AI in business. That's on the level of the CBS. At the level of the program, we try to integrate AI in as many courses as possible. And now, specifically in my course, what I try to do, I try to embrace the idea that at the moment we have enough of knowledge to stop putting everything into single box of AI, meaning that students should be aware of different different technologies, or if you want different algorithms. So to be able to differentiate machine learning from recommender systems, large language models, NLP, deep learning, whatever, and to be able to critically analyze what are benefits and what are disadvantages of these different technologies. Because, for example, you can have the best machine learning algorithm, but if your data is not clean enough and if it is not sorted in a proper way, the output would be very questionable. So I think it's really important from one side to expose students to good AI tools, but also to develop critical thinking of how these tools are developed. Not in a way that students of sales management should be able to code, but rather just to understand input, process, output behind AI. And finally, always being a little bit careful that AI is still not going to run the world, and that we really need human perspective. So kind of balancing between technology and human side is something that I believe should be always idea in terms of how programs should be redesigned and how to think about our courses in future.
Well, I'm happy to hear that at least we can end on a positive note with regards to that AI will not replace us and make education
At least
irrelevant.
not in next couple of years.
No, okay, but I'm even more positive than that. But let me thank you. So big thanks to you, Selma, Beatrice, and Markus, for sharing such honest and thoughtful reflections. What I think is really what stands out is that sales education is much more than just learning the techniques. And it's more about being adaptive, having confidence, and having a mindset for this lifelong learning. We hope that today's conversation inspires both current and future students to see education as a powerful part of their sales journey. And thank you for tuning in to Upload Sale, and we will see you next time.